Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Adronis, the Cosmic Administration webinar. The Cosmic Administration. Now, you have to understand that you yourselves are very much a part of this Cosmic Administration. You are not excluded from the idea of the affairs, of the happenings, of the agendas, of the watching, pertaining to what is happening on this earth. For there are approximately 8 billion human souls on the planet, and each of you represent a certain type of administrator. Well, why is that, Adronis? Simply because it is part of your own consciousness to how the earth herself is fashioned. The earth looks the way she does, mainly because of you. The earth has all of this beauty, all of this material, all of this, shall we say, enchanting form, mainly thanks to you. You have to understand that the idea of the administration is like a honeycomb. And inside this honeycomb are billions of cells. These hexagonal shaped cells. And each cell represents you, represents each of you, represents all of you. And there is that which is in the center. It is the heart. It is the heart of all experience. But through this center, you see certain images. It's like a crystal ball in that way. The physical self would represent the cell inside the honeycomb. Whereas the idea of the true self would be the heart in the center. But the heart in the center, again, in the analogy of this crystal ball, shows you events. You could call these collective events, but really what's happening is that you're all experiencing it through your own unique perspectives. So what the Cosmic Administration is doing is making sure that everything is tipped to the appropriate balance, because extremes will happen. More and more people will start to panic. More and more people are being afraid because they're being locked down, because they're doing mask agendas, because they're fearful of vaccinations, because they're fearful of government control. But there's always a tipping point. And so the Cosmic Administration moderators come and work behind the scenes to ensure that everything levels itself out well. You do not need to be concerned about this affecting the mass populace. That's not its intention. It is for you to observe that a lot of these agendas are taking place, and there will be those in that sense who will voluntarily get involved with these agendas because they think that's their way out of this. They will look at a hot fire and thinking, well, all I have to do is just run through the fire and I'll be able to go back to normal in life. So they sprint and they jump through the fire, but no, the flame catches them and they are caught on fire. Do not feel like you have to run through the flames, for the flames will only last so long before they are self-extinguished. Well, Adronis, what about those now who are in spirit, who have left this earth, and maybe it did not leave on the best of terms? They were ill, maybe they were affected by this agenda, and it cost them their life. What's happening to those souls right now? They're watching this just as the moderators are. Some of them may decide to have another lifetime on the earth. Because when you go back into spirit, you are still working on yourself. It does not cease. It does not end. Because you are still you. You're still your personality. That has not been lost. And so they may actually get counsel from the moderators, from the angels, from guides, from other loved ones, from other beings in that sense that are happy to impart wisdom to them. And they say, you know what? I'm ready to go back down again. I'm ready to be a child again. I'm ready to go back down to the earth again. Because there is an assemblage point to those souls who newly arrive, as it were, back into their original states. And this assemblage point surrounds all of creation. It exists here yet it exists everywhere. We know that that is a head scratcher for yourselves logically. Well, Adronis, what do you mean? It's here, but it's everywhere. Because it's an assemblage point. It is a point that exists within the heart of your earth, that expands itself to where you can see the entirety of the earth, your star system, where you can see the entirety of your galaxy, where you can see the entirety of the universe, just from that assemblage point. And through there, you are aware of all. It's like having these screens just everywhere, but you're seeing a multitude of screens at the same time. You see all these screens, all these cells of the honeycomb that are directly in front of you, and you're aware of what's going on. Because in spirit, there's no secrets. You now get it and saying, oh, that's why these agendas were happening. Everybody is informed of that when they return back to spirit. You're getting informed about why this agenda is happening. Why has there been a COVID-19? Why has there been a mask agenda? Why has there been a vaccination agenda? And it's answered. I get it now. That's brilliant. Why couldn't I see that when I was down there? Why couldn't I see that when I was in my physical body? Because the cosmic moderators are telling you right now. Because you were not in that frame of mind. You are not in that mindset. You were teetering off balance relating to your own physical being, emotional being, mental being. You could not stabilize yourself. When in fact, the answer was staring right at your face. We will also mention that upon your planet right now, there is continual meetings where there are those that represent the Galactic Confederation that are meeting with specific individuals. And you will notice larger breakthroughs through technology. Simply because what is happening is that it is often seen as a risk for civilizations to therefore go into your shadow government vaults and pull out many of these technologies. That's not what's happening. What is actually happening is that there are certain administrative heads upon your planet that therefore have a great deal of say-sos in universities that receive blueprints for new technologies that are coming in that are exact or close to the degree of many previously confiscated, back-engineered extraterrestrial technology. You will notice, especially around this year and the year to come, that much of this technology is going to start being developed and therefore brought out into the open through much of your education centers on your planet. Some of this will represent the idea of breakthrough of spacecraft technology, which you would commonly refer to as your TR-3Bs, the idea of triangular craft. There will be certain alterations taking place, but it'll be very, very close to a version like that, that in time will actually be publicly available. You will also notice again other different types of plasma technology, as we've talked about, electromagnetic energy, even what you would know as zero-point fields, technology that will in time be available. It needs to roll itself out. But it will appear as if a group has an idea, but that's not the case. They've been handed something because of their brilliance, and they say, create this. But again, just make it look like it was organically produced. This is actually what creates a harmless effect, because nothing can really go after them if something in that sense is pulled out from the shadow government's vaults. So as an alternative to opening up shadow vaults, what they are doing is they're being given blueprint technology by Star Family to these administrative heads, to these creation engineering teams existing in university and other education centers. And you will notice that again, there are specific ones that are being utilized. Some you will find in China, some you will find in Australia, some you will find in Canada, etc. And that they're all developing these new forms of technology that would, as you would say in your lingo, are bulletproof. which means that they are extremely effective. This is why you're having a lot of your breakthroughs of technologies taking place right now, because it's your star family that's talking to these administrative heads that are now giving these blueprints to engineering teams, commonly in education centers and universities, that are producing these forms of technology. And that is deliberate. They don't just say, oh, we just discovered this. No, this is being handed down.